Good morning, my friends. It is Thursday, which means it's my favorite day of the week because I get to hang out with you guys. And today I am super, super excited about what we're going to be chatting about. We actually did kind of like a two-part series of sorts, where last week we did half of what we're going to talk about today. And today we are doing the latter half. So welcome back to our Q4 Bootcamp Series. We are spending 12 weeks together getting you ready as possible for Q4. And today is week 5. I noticed, by the way, that I put the wrong information in the description. I didn't even register it until this morning. So you guys might have seen last week's information in this week's description, but today is basically again just an extension of what we did last week and really diving deep into how to build your individual Pinterest strategy. And we are going to also be doing a challenge inside this week's information, the little thing we're going to go through today. So please stay tuned for the end of this live stream, or if you're watching the replay, please make sure that you fast forward till the end, because we're going to be basically teaching you the entire time how to prep for this challenge. So I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys are as well. We got a couple people already in the live chat today. We got CSB Channel 2023, Frowned K as well. Good morning to both of you. Hello for everyone who is also watching the replay and were not able to catch us live. One last thing I wanted to say just before we get started, I am going to go ahead and just jump in early today because we've got a lot to cover and I don't want to keep you guys too far past the 11 a.m. Eastern slot. So please, all I want to say real quick is we are going to go through a lot of stuff today. But you are going to have access to the document. Usually I try to do this every time, but I definitely wanted to do it today. So wanted to let you know that is at the top of the live chat. If you want to go ahead and click on that, it should be a little Google Drive link that is easily accessible for all of you who are watching the live chat. If you are watching the replay, I'll go ahead and drop the link in the description and it will also be in the pinned comment. So first and foremost, please go ahead and get that downloaded because we're going to be going through a lot today and I really want you guys to be able to follow along with me. And then last but not least, of course, as always, if you are watching it live with me today, go ahead and use and abuse that live chat since we are going to be going through a ton of stuff. And it's going to be a little bit more in depth than last week is. Please feel free to go ahead and drop any questions, any comments. If you need to be like, hey, I don't understand that, let's go back and do that again. That's totally fine. That's what today's live training/workshop is about. I really want this to be as interactive as possible to get you guys on the right track for our challenge that is coming up at the end. So with that said, I also wanted to check in with you guys real fast before I actually, which I mean, I guess I can go ahead and share my screen. There we go. I wanted to go ahead and share just to see if anybody had done what they were asked to do in week 4. So there were 2 things I asked you to do. Number 1, well, I guess there were 3 things, but we'll just talk about 2 today. Number 1 was I wanted to make sure that you created a Pinterest business account. That's it. Very, very simple. All you got to do is just open it up. You can open it in your personal account and then add an account for business for free, or you can do a totally separate one like I have. So please let me know in the live chat and in the comments while you're watching this, who made their professional Pinterest business account. Let me know. I'm going to take a little sip of my water. Give me a thumbs up. I did. I'm working on it still, whatever it is. Let me know because I don't want to do anything else until we have people on the right track. Linda said she's done. In Jesus' name -R2M. I don't know your real name, but they said, yes, I do have a Pinterest business account. Fantastic. Wax, paper, ribbon, but build theirs as well. Fantastic. So if you, also CSB Channel, great news. Pretty Printables by Sheila said, I already have one for a digital store. I have. Frowned K said they've started, still building it. Awesome. So I just want to make a quick little note for Pretty Printables by Sheila. If you are not promoting the printable store, or this is obviously information for everyone. If you're not promoting what's already on your Pinterest currently, for Q4. So if you're doing physical items, print on demand item, whatever it is, just make sure to go ahead and build a secondary Pinterest account that will be attached to the new business. So cool. We got some yeses. We got some I did. Catherine actually did hers in May. Fantastic. So she's probably already light years ahead of all of us who just started last month, aka myself. So I'm really excited to go ahead and get this done. Thank you guys so much for building that for yourselves. Number 2 was I gave you the directive. I hate to say directive because I'm not telling you what to do, but I gave you the advice or encouragement to also check and find mock-up styles that were doing well in your space. So you were supposed to be finding things that were basically performing well in your space. So let's just say golf is your space, millennial females is my space. MySpace. Oh my God, did y'all hear MySpace is coming back, by the way? Anyways, so number 3, let's say you have a dog mom, like I know Linda is in that space, so any of those kinds of things, you're supposed to be looking for things that were already doing well on Pinterest last week and screenshotting all of those, because today we are going to use them to our advantage. So let me know, did anybody do that second part? Did you screenshot the mock-up styles, the lifestyle mock-ups in your space, and you're ready to either generate them with AI or you have already generated them? Let me know. Step 2, did we have that done from last week? Because it's really going to help. All of these things are going to be very beneficial for what we're going to be talking about today. Also, while you guys are answering me, isn't this so cute? It's like bedazzled. I just got it from Kirkland's the other day, and I'm wearing Halloween earrings. So it's fall. It's definitely fall for me already. Cool. Catherine said, yup and yup. Good to know. Pretty Printables by Sheila said, I haven't seen any of these videos before. Nice. So that's totally fine. You're not going to be too behind today, but I do recommend go ahead and watch our week 4 Q4 Bootcamp, which took place last Thursday. The replay is on our YouTube channel under the live section. Linda said, not done yet. Hard to find mock-ups with dogs in them. Ooh, very good point. So I want to bring this up real fast. I'm so glad she made this comment because they don't have to have dogs in them whatsoever. They just need to have your ideal audience. Now, obviously, if your audience is a dog because you are making dog clothing or dog collars, we might want the dog, the pet, whatever in there. But if we're just making t-shirts, or I know Linda, for example, is making home decor, like blankets, pillows, wall art for her audience, those are what we need. Dogs don't got to be in them whatsoever. We just need the wall art mock-ups, the pillow on the couch mock-ups, the blanket on the bed mock-ups, those kinds of things. And of course, if you are doing, apparel, just the person wearing the thing, they don't actually have to have the dog or whatever it is, the golf club in their hands in order to find the right mock-up. So good to know. So you guys at least did the research. Maybe we didn't screenshot a lot yet. Maybe we haven't regenerated them with AI yet, but you guys did the research. So that's good to know because it's going to be really helpful for today. So like I said, go ahead and download the document up at the very top of the live chat, and then we will get started on how we're going to basically do an extension of last week's training. So week 5 to-do list. Don't freak out. I don't want you guys to be like, are you kidding me? This is way too much. Because I showed you how to do really, really fast stuff with PinBee last week. I told you how to do really fast listing automation with OHoney. So don't freak out with these numbers. We're going to talk about all of them and how to do all of these things very easily, quote unquote, easily over the next couple of weeks. So by 8/16, so that's coming up in the next 3 days or so, I want you guys to start. We talked about this last week, but by 8/16, aka this coming Sunday, I want you guys to start your Pinterest organic marketing strategy. And we're going to talk about start. What does that actually mean? And what should you be doing over the next couple of days to make that happen? You guys are already 2 steps in, so we're golden. By 8/31, so obviously I'm skipping a week here, and I'm going to go ahead and just give you this information now rather than waiting until next Thursday, and then you only got 7 days to do it, maybe even less than 7 days. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to you now that we are doing a 100 pin challenge together. And that might sound like a lot, but I'm going to show you today that it's not. I'm going to show you the exact math of what you're going to do. I'm going to show you exactly how to build each and every one of them. So please don't freak out. Okay, we are going to do a challenge of our 100 pins over the next 30 days. But of course, my goal would be if we can get them done in the month of August, like created and scheduled, that will get you through the next 30 days. So we'll talk about that breakdown at the very end of this. That was the challenge that I mentioned at the beginning. I also would love to see you guys, based on what we talked about last week of the automation processes that OHoney gives you. I would love for you guys to create 10 to 15 design iterations from what has done well, what has sold in your Etsy store, what has gotten clicks in your meta ads, whatever it is. So like what is doing well in your business right now, and do 10 to 15 iterations of what proved to do well over the past 2 weeks. Go ahead and have, every week trying to do that, and then launching 10 to 15 totally new listings every week as well. So theoretically, first of all, if you joined this live stream, you already know last week we talked about this if you're here often. So we talked about having 20 to 30 listings on a weekly basis. And that is a very small amount, by the way. It seems like a lot, but once you start utilizing these automations and you start getting a little bit quicker at research and you really, really know what to look for, these become a lot easier. So I would love to see every week throughout the rest of August, and basically throughout the rest of the year, but we're going to increase these numbers going forward. So through the month of August, every week for the next, it's only 2 weeks, but for the next 2.5 weeks, I would like to see 20 to 30 pins. No, 20 to 30 listings live on your stores. And I do recommend a split of sorts where you're doing like 60 to 80% new listings and between 20 to 40%, again, those iterations of things that did well. Okay. So that's today / for the next couple of weeks. We are obviously still going to meet next week for week 6. But again, I wanted to get a little ahead of the game so you weren't like, oh my God, I have to do 40 listings in a matter of just a couple of days. So that is the first piece, is our to-do list. The next piece is obviously, this is literally being built off of what we talked about last Thursday. So basically, we talked about steps 1 through 7. Again, if you haven't watched that, it's actually linked in the description of this live stream. So feel free to open it up and go watch it right after this. But again, you're not going to necessarily be behind if you're first here, but I would recommend there are going to be things that you might want to go ahead and watch in that first one in order to do today's stuff. But you don't have to hop out of this, because I still would recommend you being here live with me to be able to get questions answered in real time. So step 8, we did 1 through 7 last week. Step 8 is we are basically going to determine how many pins on Pinterest we want to go live every day. It's pretty standard for a brand new Pinterest account to have 3 to 5 pins a day. And people that are in it for, a couple months could be anywhere in the basically 7 to 15 range a day. And then people that are in it for the long haul, they've been on Pinterest for a while. They have warmed up their audience. They've warmed up the algorithm. You could be doing literally 30 plus pins a day. So we're not at that place yet. Obviously, if you are, congratulations. I'm not. But today I'm just showing you what I do personally. So I've personally made the decision to do 7 pins per day. I'm actually increasing this a little bit now as we get into September. But just for this month, you'll see total of 7 pins is what I want on a daily basis. And I use that little pin B tool that I tutorialed last week. Again, if you didn't see it, please go back and watch it. This is available to our Appa Shop members. There are also a lot of other automated Pinterest tools that you can go to. Pin B is just free for me because I have an Appa Shop account. So by all means, check that out if you want to. But you'll see when I say mine versus Pinbee, these are things that Pinbee is doing for me automatically by simply syncing over my Appa Shop listings into Pinterest. And then mine, quote unquote, are curated. So curated just basically means that I am generating it myself in some way, shape, or form, whether I'm using Canva, I'm using AI, I'm doing a collage. We'll talk about a bunch of different things today to show you what the different ones are. But these are things that I am personally building myself and I am personally scheduling out. Okay. So Pinbee is scheduling these for me. I am scheduling these and I'm generating them. Okay. So that's your first step for today, is how many pins do you want to have on a daily basis for the next 30 days? Obviously, we are doing a 100 pin challenge, so it would be a really good idea if you divided by the number of days. So if we just did 100 divided by 30, for example, you should be around the 3 to 4 pins a day if you want to join the 100 pin challenge. And the good news is too, you can schedule all of these out. As you can see, mine are all scheduled out through the 15th, even farther than that, but my screenshot got cut off. So you can build all of these 100 pins in an hour or so, and then schedule them out for the next 30 days and then just watch them work. And then you can get ahead of next month and get ahead of the next month. So it's not something that you have to remember to do every single day, but we're going to talk a little bit about how to build out and schedule out. So the first thing you need to figure out, let me know in the live chat, what are you going to commit to? Because like I said, this is a workshop. This is a series, a boot camp. I am your fearless leader. I don't want to say fearless, but I am your drill sergeant through this boot camp. I'm going to hold you to what you say. So what can you consciously and healthily commit to in your business if we were to start this coming week for the next 30 days? Let me know in the live chat what your number is. We got 3 to 4 per day coming in so far. I want to see a couple more. Come on, use this interactive chat as much as possible. I'm doing 7 a day. You do not have to do 7. You do not have to even do 5. But if you want to, especially if you're going to be generating your own, 3 minimum is what I would say. So we got 5 from Laura Digital. Fantastic. Good job. Linda said 1. That's fine. As long as we can get stuff up. Fantastic. Someone said 2 to 5 per day. Catherine Hyatt's doing about 3 daily. Wax Paper Ribbon said 3 as well. Fantastic. You guys are in the right place. Love to hear it. All right. So we're going to commit to that. So then step 2 then is, if you have an Appa shop, how do you plan on splitting these? If you don't have an Appa shop, you don't have to worry about this. You're just going to make your own pens. But if you do have Appa shop, how do you want to split it? Do you want to do 70% of the work and then Pen B do 30%? Do you want to flip that? Whatever it is, figure out your number for yourself. I'm seeing some more numbers in the chat. Great work. Love to see it. I've heard 7 every day. Yes, I mean, that's, like I said, it depends on how big your Pinterest account is, how old it is. Michael also said with Allura, very good point. Allura is the other, another Pinterest tool you can use, and Etsy tool. So I do 15 a day with Allura on auto. It's not the best. Understood. So anyways, we'll talk today about how to hopefully make that a little bit better too. So then the question becomes, we're still in step 8. And the question becomes, okay, how are we going to make those pens, and how many of them should be going out every day, and what types should be going out on a weekly basis? So I'm going to show you a couple different examples today and show you exactly how to build them. And then you'll be able to know by the end of this, the 100 pen challenge is going to be nothing to you, because you're going to know exactly what math it's going to take for each different type of pen that you're going to be building. Okay, we're going to do that together. So what I like to do personally is I like to spotlight 5 to 7 links/product pages links to product pages per week. So what that means is this chick right here. So this is obviously an AI generated mock-up that I made myself based off of what was trending in my space, which is the work we did last week. And you'll see she's just wearing one of my t-shirts. So that's it. That's going to the product page. So very, very simple. The next one is I like to also spotlight all of my collections per week. Or if you're doing this on Etsy, for example, all of your sections. So it's the exact same thing. So like the link that takes them to a place that is curated. So like your Halloween collection, your t-shirt collection, let's say you're doing multiple products, like that's what I mean by collection. So here's an example of what that is. Obviously you guys aren't able to see the exact designs, but you can probably see that these designs are somewhat similar. So this is actually a tarot card Halloween like collection that I built that was like probably 10 or so different designs. So this is what I mean by a collection. So you could build a collage of sorts that shows a couple different from that space. Then we have the shop page, or your website, or your Etsy store, whatever it is, whatever you're using, we want to send them to the shop itself. And then you're going to see here, I have multiple different examples of design. So basically what I did is I personally built all 3 of these AI generated mock-ups, collages, whatever you want to call them. And I made them all blank. So then I can very simply come in here and overlay my individual designs on them. So I have a good aesthetic, first of all, for my Pinterest. It looks very similar, but it's not the same because it's going to a different collection. It's going to my shop. It's going to a product page, or it is obviously spotlighting the whole store itself. So those are 3 different ones that are very easy to understand. Everyone gets why we would show the whole shop. Everyone gets why we might want to spotlight a collection we're trying to push, which can, by the way, also be new arrivals and bestsellers. It doesn't have to be just a curated collection. And then also everyone's going to understand product page, right? But then the next 2 are a little bit deeper that we need to go. So lead gen pins and collage pins. So I'm going to show how to build each of those and where to build them and why to build them. If it's something of interest to you, lead gen pins are not required whatsoever. It's just an opportunity for you to get more email subscribers. But if that's not something you want, you can just skip that part of the live stream. All right. So this is definitely step 9. I don't know how I jumped from 8 to 10, but this next step then is once we figure out how many we want to do. We understand the kind of combination of what types we want to do, which again, I'm going to go through all of the different types in a second. So don't worry if you're like, what the heck is a lead gen pin? What's a collage? We're going to do it together. But once you have that and you're like, okay, I know I want to do X, Y, and Z. I know this is the split that I want to do. Then the next thing is you're going to take your AI generated lifestyle mockups that you built from the research that you did last week. And you're going to start putting 4 to 6. Usually 4 is the easiest way to go. Or if you want to do 7, so it's 1 per day, completely up to you. But I'm going to show you what I mean here. You're basically going to begin generating 4 to 6 different pins per design or per link, whatever you're currently focusing on. So are we focusing on our shop as a whole? Are we focusing on our collections? Are we focusing on our product pages, right? So we're going to do that. And the goal is to schedule them out in Pinterest once per week. So we're going to make 4 to 6 per different thing we want to focus on, but we are only going to do one of those per week. So what I mean by that is one would go out, let's just say you want to do promoting your entire shop on Wednesdays. You'll find a system that works for you, hopefully very quickly. But like what I like to do, for example, is like collections are spotlighted on Tuesdays. Shops are spotlighted on Wednesdays. Product pages are spotlighted every day. Lead gen pages are Thursday, etc. So you'll find a cadence that works for you. But this is how we're going to be able to build out super far into the future, at least a month into the future, and still hit all of the different types of pins that might be beneficial to us. So what we're going to do is, let's say every Tuesday for the next 4 weeks, we're going to make a pin each week. So we're going to have 4 pins in total for this specific product page, and that's going to go live every Tuesday for the next 4 weeks. Or if you do 6 or 7 or whatever your amount is, just know that you can only schedule out a certain number of weeks into the future on Pinterest. So if you make a bunch, that's totally fine. They're just going to be sitting there until you're able to schedule, which I believe it's either 4 to 6 weeks. I just don't have it in front of me now, is how fast or how long you're able to go out into the future. So this is going to be, again, per link, per collection, or again, whatever the per goal is that you have for those pins you're building. So I want to show you exactly how to do that. We'll click create and then go to pin very easily on our Pinterest board. And then we are going to schedule them all out. So I want to show you what this looks like. Pinterest internally has a very fun and easy and great, like just automated process that allows you to do a lot of different things at one time. If you missed last week's training, I'm going to very lightly hit on something that's very important on Pinterest. They really don't love when you are putting the same link, whatever the link is, shop, collection, lead gen, whatever. They don't want you to do the same link more than once a week. So that's why we're doing this together today, is you are going to have 4 weeks scheduled out, but you're going to have one link per week. Hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, please let me know. But you'll see here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Can't really see the designs, obviously, but you'll see that these 3 are all the same design. Okay, so it's just 3 different mockups with the same design on them. And you'll see that they are currently clicked. So if you come down here, it'll say 0 of 4. And what that means is however many mockups or images that you uploaded. That's all it is. So it's going to be like 0 of 10, 0 of 20, 0 of 2, depending on what you've uploaded. But again, the goal for you in order to make this scheduler work for you is all of the same link or the same design, however you're doing this, on different mockups. Okay, so what I'm saying here, we have these 3, for example. So what we'll do is click on each of them individually, or you can click this button down here, which will be 4 of 4. In this case, this is a collage that I did not want to go to the same link as these 3. So that's why you'll see only 3 out of 4 are checked. Once I click that, I can click this little pencil button right down here. And then that opens up the bulk editor on the right-hand side. So now what you can do is pop your title in, your description, your link, your board, your tag topics, your alt text, whatever, and it's going to then be applied to all 3 pins. So you see edit 3 or edit pins 3. That is a very easy way to have the exact same SEO package and the exact same link under multiple different mockups. And then all we would do, if it'll let me, Nope, it's not there. All we'll do then is get out of this. So once we're done, we've built the SEO package, we're happy with it. All we're going to do is go to this little button right here where it says publish at a later date. And then you're just going to choose your days. So maybe the first one goes out. You'll see I got them scheduling here. So maybe the first one goes out today. Maybe the second one goes out next Thursday, and the third one goes out the following Thursday. So you are able to look at least 4 weeks, if not even up to 6 weeks into the future to get those locked and loaded on a daily basis. So that is how you can do your curated pins that are related to, again, your product pages, your collections, shop, etc., whatever you want to do. So please let me know, are there any questions in the chat real fast regarding how we're going to be able to make this very automated and as easy as possible for you? Someone said, I have a slightly different question. All right, we'll welcome it all here. In Europe, we have to declare AI pictures. Does Etsy already have possibilities to add a badge that the picture is AI generated? Good question. We're not really talking about Etsy today, so I won't have that up readily available for you. I would just look on Etsy and see if that's available in the back end of your shop manager. I don't think it is, just because it's kind of new. But what a lot of people in our community are doing is just putting like a little note in the description. They'll put it as a little blurb on the bottom of their product photos, like the mock-ups that you can go through. You can also do that here on Pinterest if you'd like. There actually is, I believe there's a button at the very bottom, but we can't see it right now. There we go. Mark is AI modified content that was made completely or partly with AI. So you can easily establish that here inside of Pinterest. But again, on Etsy, I'm not 100% sure. Good question, though. All right, we got no other questions about the scheduler, so let's move on to the next thing. So the next element is lead generation pin. So I told you I was going to lightly go through what this is and why or how it could be beneficial for you. So basically, lead generation pins are trying to utilize the organic traffic that you're getting on Pinterest that you're not paying for, unless you're doing Pinterest ads, of course, to increase how many people you have as subscribers to your email list. Now, obviously, the goal would be when you get into like if they click on your product page, or if they click on your shop page or your collection page, any of those, they also should be hit with an opt-in form on your website. However, if you are selling on Etsy and you don't have your own website, you don't have a pop-up form available. Like there's nothing on Etsy that's like, hey, would you like to sign up for my email list, right? So this is going to really help you guys if you're in the Etsy space and you want to get more lead gen. But of course, this is also really beneficial for our ApaShop members, where you're trying to encourage them to hit your email list because of some incentivization that you're going to give them, which I'll show you in just a second what mine looks like. And then you're going to have a place where they're going to land. So it's literally called a landing page, or a lander, as it's kind of the slang we use for it. And the reason why, it's the page that they land on from clicking the link. So usually, like I said, we're going to have shop page link, we're going to have collection links, we're going to have product page links, but we also can do lead generation links, which are going to take them not to our website, but to something integrated with our website that is an opt-in form that we personally built. So I'll show you what I mean by that really quickly. Here is 3 examples of lead generation pins that I'm currently doing right now. It's very simple. I literally just have the exact same mock-up, but it has different designs on each of the mock-ups. As you can see, they're all different. And then I just have the special or the offer or whatever, again, the incentivizing element that I want in order to get them to stick around, aka click on the link and join the email list. So extra 10% off all teas, sign up for free gift. And then I have my examples. This is the most important piece of the pin itself, is the picture. But then this also kind of increases that urgency and hopes that they would want that instant gratification based on what they saw on these t-shirts. Like, oh shoot, I can buy that and get 10% off. Let me go sign up for it. Join the list and save 10%, extra 10% off all teas. Again, same thing here. Which one are you? Kind of like a quiz concept where they're not going to click on it necessarily, but they can kind of see like, oh, that's my vibe for sure. Sign up and save 10%. So these are a couple of examples of what I'm building, and I'm redoing these on a weekly basis too. Like I'm not just going to stick to this all time. If they don't work, I want to fix it. I'm going to be testing these on a weekly basis and then maybe doing some iterations. But this is the first test that I'm doing for the lead gen pins. Now the question comes, okay, what do I where do they go? Like if they're not going to the website, what are they doing? So we would build a landing page of sorts with the main goal of them giving us their information. But the landing page should not just immediately be this, right? So join the club and we'll give you an additional 10% off your first order, and then the sign up form. Because maybe they don't know who you are. They saw a Pinterest pin, like let's say they only saw this and they knew nothing else about you. It's going to be very, very difficult for you to convince them when you only have this. So what I like to do on my landing pages that are for opt-in forms of sort, I want to let them know who I am, what I have going on. Who are they? Are they like in the right place? Are you my audience? Because if not, then they need to get out, because I don't want them on my email list anyways, right? So we're trying to self-qualify them through the very top kind of hero image, the subtitle, as you can see here, and then an extra 10% off. That's what they came for. So it's still above the fold. Like if I were to zoom in and show it like a website, you would see that that is still above the fold. And above the fold just simply means before someone scrolls when they're at 100% zoom. So if I come out, then they go a little bit down, and this is on mobile, on desktop, whatever it is. And then they have the option to go ahead and give me their information. But then I also have like 3 other sections below this that more so qualifies them. So things that tell them, what we do, who we are, why they should join this list, what they can expect from us, etc. So I basically build out images with AI to kind of make a landing page that they can then flow through, and then again self-qualify themselves even more than they already have. So if this doesn't get them at the very top, there's also an additional, okay, now you know us, now you trust us, go ahead and click sign up. This is also at the bottom of the page as well. So there's 2 opportunities for them to put their information in, and my colors, my branding, my aesthetic of the t-shirts match the original pin that they clicked on. We want to make sure that those, like, they don't get confused as to how they landed on this page. They need to be like, oh yeah, my brain is telling me like, oh, this is the shirt that like I clicked on, and that's the one that she's wearing, or this is the colors that she was using, and we're seeing the colors throughout here. So making sure that you build something on the back end that is making them feel like they got where they were trying to go in the first place. So that's kind of what a lead gen pin is. Before I go into collage pins, I want to see, oh, thanks guys. So I want to see what kind of questions we have over here. Are we pinning into boards that we create? Sorry, I missed previous classes. Great question. So this would be, I highly recommend checking out week 4 of our Q4 Bootcamp. It went live last Thursday. But yes, we're going to have at least 5 boards that we are self-curating. And then you also want to do a little bit of keyword research before you build the board, so that you can take those long tail key phrases that people are already typing in to find, stuff like yours, and then turning them into the description and the title of those boards. So yes, feel free. We went over that in depth last week, but that's the short answer, yes. That's the best landing page explanation I have heard. Makes more sense to me now. Yay! I'm so glad. Landing pages have always been this like weird thing that like it took me forever to understand them myself. And I was in marketing for 12 years. So it really took me a while to be like, what is the purpose? Like, why do I have so many landing pages, or why are people telling me I need so many of them? Why can't they just go to my website? So I'm really, really glad to see or to hear that that was very beneficial. I have a Gmail address for all of my Etsy accounts. Can I use that for making my mailing list? I don't think so. I would look into that. It's called Can Spam. So CAN space SPAM. So look into the can spam laws in your particular region. But I do not believe you are allowed to have anything that's not an @ domain. So like at mybusiness.com, at everbee.io, because Gmail, I think that Gmail protects people from getting those emails. So please look it up in your own region. Very informative. Thanks. You're welcome. Also, can you make a video on how to use a Facebook strategy? Yes, we did a couple of videos about social media in the past. So feel free to check our channel for those as well. But I'm more than happy to do an updated social media strategy as well, because this is all of these different pins that we're building, by the way, and the purpose for each of the pins could also be something for social media, because Pinterest is not social media. It is a search engine, but it can be applicable. So yes, more than happy to look to add that to our list as well. Someone said, "Oh gosh, I have so much to learn. This is amazing." That's fine. That's what we're here for. That's why we're doing this boot camp together. So as it relates to the lead gen page or the landing page itself, you would need an email provider of sorts in order to build this, because the goal is when they put this in here, it doesn't just go off into the ether, right? It's got to go somewhere. So something that I did, I'll just be fully transparent with you guys, way back in the day when I didn't know how to do a landing page, when I didn't have an email marketing system. This might be illegal, so I don't recommend it, but I'm letting you guys know that like we all start somewhere. I made a Google form, and the emails like went to my Google Drive and it was like the most messed up system, but they at least went somewhere where I didn't lose them. So then I was able, when I had an email marketing platform, I was then able to import them in a way that was legal, that was approved, because they gave me their consent to send them marketing emails. That's literally what this is. They are opting in to receive. They are consenting to receive. So if we do not have those kinds of consent forms, or we did not pass this little test here where they said, yep, I'll do that, I'll give you this information, we can't hit them with marketing emails. So that was my very, very first stab at this, like a decade ago. So what we want to do is it's got to go somewhere. So what I would highly recommend is, if you do not already have an email marketing provider, there are plenty of them out there to look at. MailChimp, Klaviyo, however you say it. What's that other one that starts with an F? Flowdesk. Like there's just a bunch of different ones that you can use out there. But obviously I personally use ApaShop, which is through Everbee. So Everbee has a basically Shopify website builder of their own. So we call it ApaShop. And the cool thing about how I built this actually through ApaShop is it's built through ApaShop email. So it's connected directly to my subscribers list, which is then directly connected to my website as well. So again, think about who you want to go with, what your purpose is, if this is the direction you want to go. Build your landing page with opt-in pieces, consensual pieces for them to give you their email. And then just make sure it is connected to, like, once they sign up, it goes to your subscribers list, or it goes to a list that you build, whatever it is. So not going to go too deep into that, because obviously you guys might all be using totally different email marketing platforms, but that is the kind of overall as to how we would build that strategy. Let me see. Constant Contact. Yes, I totally forgot about that one. Constant Contact is my fave. Gypsy Art Lover said that. So yes, that is another one as well. Some email platforms are even free for small list. Very true. For example, MailerLite, Lite, allows you to have up to 250 subscribers without paying a monthly fee. Wonderful. ApaShop does as well, by the way, but again, you would have to have the website, which you would pay for, in order to get up to, I think it's 500 subscribers for free. So please keep that in mind. I haven't heard of Shopify or ApaShop. I'm going to check it out. Please do. I'll put a link in the description so that you can check it out as well. But it is basically our version of a full-blown e-commerce website itself. I'm not relating the emails you mentioned. I may need to go back to previous videos. That's fine. We got a whole buttload of them, 2.5 years worth. So feel free. So that is lead generation pins. Now we're going to move on to collage pins, which is one of my favorite things. This is brand new within Pinterest. I don't know how long it's been a thing, because I haven't been on Pinterest in a while for my own business, but it's new to me. And it's brand new, and I believe in 2026. But basically what collage pins allow you to do is, I'll just scroll down a little bit and then go back. They allow you to add in different pins that you've already pinned to your account. And once you click on them, or when someone hovers over on them, by the way, this does work on both desktop and mobile, it's going to pull up that pin. So it's what Pinterest calls tappable, which I think is dumb. It should just be clickable, but whatever. This is called a tappable pin, which then allows them to see the pin. And if they would like to learn more about it, they can click on it and it will take them directly to the pin itself, which theoretically, if your Pinterest strategy is being built appropriately because you're doing this 2-week boot camp with us, when they click visit site right here, that should go to the place you want them to go. Whether, again, it's the shop page, the product page, the lead gen page, whatever you're doing, they're going to get to your pin, which then is connected to the link of the goal that you have. So I'm going to go back up here real fast. So these are actually built inside of Pinterest. And it's like one of the coolest things that I've seen them do. I actually showed this to my husband last night. He's like, oh, that's a game changer. I was like, for real, because it's not even just that we are basically making pins on Canva or wherever we're building them and hoping someone clicks visit site. What we're doing here is actually taking pins that already exist, that we've already published, and then we are pulling those pins over here. And then Pinterest actually has this really cool thing. Well, they'll actually do a cutout for you. So you'll see it's all these different cutouts over here. And I changed the background color to obviously match, what my brand is. And then these will actually cut out the t-shirt for you. Sometimes it'll even cut out your lifestyle mock-up for you. So then it's going to look like this and kind of have like the background removed, which is cool. So you have the ability to basically take these pins that you've already built that are already live on your site, drag and drop them into this collage builder. And then as long as you keep them tappable, which they should be, there should be no things that are untappable, or else just make a regular pin because then the collage is pointless. Then it would do exactly this. So you can see kind of what happens when you're hovering on desktop is it will highlight the pin at hand, like whichever one they're hovering over. If you're on mobile, you can click this pin, for example, and then this one would highlight and the rest of it would be deleted or grayed out, if you will. So it's really one of the coolest things you can do on Pinterest right now, because it just gives it gives you the opportunity to present multiple pins that are all related to each other in some way in one pin. So instead of what would have originally been 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 pins, because maybe I did a 10% site-wide graphic, that could have been the 5th pin, for example, I'm able to do one pin that has all of them together. So it's a really, really cool thing. Highly recommend playing with it. It's super easy. All you're going to do, let me go back up here real fast and show you where we were here. Okay, so it's literally just the exact same place that we created our boards, the exact same place we created our pins, but we're just going to click collage. And then it's going to walk you step by step through everything you need to do to start building this out, including if you want to change the background color, if you want to put an image on the background, your logo, whatever you want to do. And then it's going to say, okay, cool, let's drag these babies over there, whichever ones you want. And then the last step is, I don't have it here, but the last step is you're basically just going to edit this pin. So are there any, like, as you can see, I put text on the top, which again is inside of Pinterest. This isn't something I built in Canva. There's also all these little weird dots that I was just having fun with it, to be honest. But how that works is down here at the bottom, when you're in the editor, you can add an image that's not tappable, that's not an actual pin itself. You can make these little lines like those dots that I was making, and you can add text right here inside of Pinterest, all completely clickable, rather than obviously generating this in your own wherever you build designs and such. All right here, that's one less thing you have to generate. All you have to do is basically just click on the things that you've already done the work for. So collage pin is like probably the most important thing that you can build and the easiest thing that you can build too. So what I like my collage pins to be is think about like a collage, like what you would expect. If we think about like my mini vision boards, you can't see all of them, but my mini vision boards that I have up here, the goal of my vision boards is to visualize what I want this year to be, right? So there's all a purpose to what I have on there. So think about collages in the exact same concept. You want all of them to relate to each other in some way, shape, or form. So again, I put collages can be built around collections. So let's say, that tarot spooky season collection that I built with like 10 different images, as long as they're pinned, I can easily come over here and drag and drop them. This is actually one of them right there, I can tell. So I could just drag and drop them and then put like new tarot drop 10% off. And all of that could be built right here in Pinterest. Another thing would be a certain product type. So let's say you do polos, t-shirts, tank tops, and hoodies. You could show 5 different hoodies with totally different designs that don't even have to be applicable to each other, but the applicable element is the product itself. Another one is obviously a niche, or an audience that you're trying to target. So maybe one of my one-on-one coaching clients, for example, he targets both male and female golfers. So this could be all male, for example, or one could be all female, and then it could be going out to that very particular person. The last thing I was thinking too that I didn't even right on here, but let's say you had multiple different lifestyle AI generated mockups that you built, excuse me, and I'm going to come back up here so I can talk and show while I'm talking. And you did something like this, where it's the exact same design, but on multiple different mockups. You can very easily turn that into a collage in itself as well, because the goal of that would be to show how that particular design or t-shirt style or whatever it is could fit on different body types or could be used in different settings. So a girl at a coffee shop, a girl shopping, a girl playing golf, whatever it is. So that could be a totally different one I didn't even think of, where all of the designs could be the exact same thing. All the products are the exact same. It's just the chick in the background changes. So that's what a collage is. And I really hope that if you take nothing from this training today, that you will start getting some collage pins live, because again, they're the easiest ones to build, and they are going to be probably the most beneficial because it's something new to Pinterest, and they always encourage and push us further if we invest in the new things that they're testing out. Okay. A couple things about collagekins. A couple things about good Lord. I'm going to take a breath. A couple things about collage pins that you guys are going to want to remember is these are made from live pins. So that means that's why you see this. Like, I'm not able to build a collage pin and make them tappable. In my opinion, it should be clickable, but whatever. Make them tappable without them being live. So if you're like me and you're scheduling out a buttload of stuff on a monthly basis, you might not be able to make a ton of collage pins until after your first week, because they're not going to be available yet. You're not physically going to be able to drag and drop them, because as you can see, you're only going to be able to click them and bring them over from all of your pins that are currently live, or any of your boards that are hosting pins that are currently live. Okay, so that's number one. So make sure that you don't go into this being like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to make all these collage pins. This is such a cool thing, if you can't, because you have never been on Pinterest before. So please keep that in mind. After week 1 of our challenge that we're going to do, however, you should have at least, if you invest in this challenge with me over the next, couple weeks, you should have at least 15 to 20 pins built and live over the next week. So if you're like, I want to do all these collage pins, that's fine. You literally can do it next week, as long as you abide by the daily kind of breakdown that we're going to do for the quantity of pins that you're going to push out. So don't worry, these will come very, very quickly. Also, a quick note is collage pins basically just have to be a collage of more than one pin. That's it. So you can literally have 2, you could have 7, you can have 10, like as much space as the collage gives you, you can have. So as you can see, I have 4 on here, but if I wanted to have 10, I could. But I also, because I'm brand new, I'm just using you guys as an example. Let's say I'm brand new to Pinterest and I ain't got a lot of pins available to choose from. We could very easily spotlight this one and spotlight this one. As long as it's more than one pin, this collage can absolutely be made, optimized, and launched. Okay, so I'm going to check this questions real fast. Okay, cool. Good stuff. Collage pins. Oh, wow. Someone said pinception, like Inception. Absolutely agreed. Do you have experience with Base 44? No. That is basically an app builder. I have not played with it at all. It's really, really cool from what I've heard, but I haven't played with it. I missed the beginning. Do the collages get their own board? Ooh, good question. So collages are able to be pinned anywhere. They could be pinned on your profile, which would just go under your all saved or your all pins section. They can also be pinned to boards. So for example, if I go back up here, this particular one is like, I'm just going to tell you straight up what it is. So it's basically a collection of songs and pop culture things that like my audience would relate to. No trademark whatsoever, but it is it's like makes you think of that song or makes you think of that movie or whatever it is. So with that said, all of these are going to go under my, as you can see, it's very easy right here, 2000s t-shirts for women. or outfits for women in their 30s, because these songs or these pop culture references would make a lot of sense to them. So nope, this is not going to be to their own board, because then you'll just have all of these kinds of things happening in the entire board. But so you're going to want to pin them to different boards that the collage makes sense for. Or again, you can easily select profile, which will just sit under your all pins section. Great question. Good morning, Tina. Someone said, how many stores can you create with a basic Shop account? That's a good question. I want to say, I probably should know this off the top of my head, but alas, here we are. I want to say you could do 3, but I'm not 100% sure. So let me double check. If I can't find it fast enough for you, I will let you know. Let's see. Okay, so the regular price for the essentials is 1 online store, and then the core plan allows you to have additional stores at a discounted rate of $15 each compared to $30 each. So hope that makes sense, but literally all I did was just type into Google Shop pricing, and then that's how I found that information. So you can play with that. You can also open an Shop account. And then once you start moving through the the onboarding screens it needs you to go through, it'll show you immediately what 3 pricing packages we have. Good question. My Etsy shop is new. How soon do you recommend setting up an Shop and email list? It's kind of 2 different questions because there's 2 different purposes there. So an Shop is a website. So that is just basically it's your Etsy on steroids. So it's as if you were building a Shopify website, but so much freaking easier and so much more intuitive to understand for someone who might not have ever done a Shopify website, aka myself. There's no coding, there's no plugins you got to worry about. So that is a totally different question than email. However, if you have Shop, you get email included. So that's where they kind of go together. The secondary question would be, when should I start an email list? Immediately. No questions asked. Like, I don't care where you're selling. You could be selling on social media and not have a website at all, and just be like, people, you're sending things, they're sending you payments through Zelle and you're sending them things. I don't care. Make an email list immediately, no matter where you're selling or what you're selling or who you're selling to, because that is the only piece of marketing that you own 100%. If Instagram dies tomorrow, if Pinterest dies tomorrow, if YouTube dies tomorrow, I would lose all of you if I didn't have you on an email list. Okay, so immediately is the answer. Thank you. Awesome. Great. You're welcome. All right, let's move on. So we're getting into the challenge now. I got about 10 minutes to walk you guys through this. If you are brave enough to join me on the journey, I am doing this right alongside you guys, and I'm going to give you my analytics and information on a weekly basis of how these pins are doing over the course of the next month inside this 12-week boot camp together. So let me know. Before I even start, let me know who's into it. Who's going to do this 100 pin challenge with me over the next 30 days, knowing that I'm going to be there. I'm going to walk you through all of it, and I'm going to be doing it right alongside you. Let me know. Commit to it right now. Who's in the live chat? Who's in the comments willing to do this with me? Heck yeah. We got CSB Channel 2023. She's in. Love it. Also, I said she without knowing, so I apologize. They are in. Very excited. Laura Digital, let's go. Absolutely. Catherine, count me in. Amy said, I'm digging in and seeing what I'm capable of. Christina says, I'm in. Michael says he's do it. Let's freaking go. I love it. I'm so excited. Y'all are getting me excited because I was already excited to do this, but now I'm even more excited because I'm going to hold you guys to it. Okay. So hopefully I see you every single Thursday to be able to build this out. Someone said a really good question, though. I want to bring it up. Do you have to have a paid subscription to participate? So glad you're bringing this up, because what we're talking about is free organic marketing on Pinterest. So you don't have to pay a dime. The only thing that you will have to pay for, and this is just with however your business works, this is completely up to you, but do you have a Canvas subscription that you're paying monthly for? $13, right? Do you have an Shop account that you want to connect PinBee to? $30 a month. That depends, right? So it's whatever your thing is. And then let's say you're doing Etsy and you're making, 15 to 20 to 30 listings a week. And then you're also doing Pinterest to send to your Etsy. You got to pay 20 cents per listing, right? So this is not completely free, but Pinterest is completely free. It just depends on the very front end of your business, what is going to transfer to Pinterest? Okay, so great question, but all of this should be 100% free for you. Someone said, bring it. Someone said, I'm not ready for this yet. Need to build my shop first. That's totally fine too. I actually just talked to my team in the Oppa Shop. We have a school community of Oppa Shop members. Linda's actually in it, who made this comment. And I basically told them, like, just because Q4 is coming and everyone's like, you need to go faster, you need to do all these listings. I'm even telling you that. You need to do all these pins, do all these listings. I don't want you guys to be like, I am going to miss out, or I don't want you to rush into it because you want to hit this Q4. Q4 will always be a thing forever until the end of time. So you can get next Q4 very easily. You can have a whole lot of time to prep for it, or you can even, more importantly and more smart of you, build a buttload of evergreen stuff that you can sell all year long. So please don't let any of the YouTubers, any of the live streamers like myself that are going to be talking so heavily about Q4 deter you from making a really, really good strategy that makes sense for you and your business and your mental health, most importantly. So just my little soapbox for the day. Someone said, do I have to have a paid subscription to Everbee? Nope, not at all. Of course, I would always recommend, because I work here, I would always recommend doing research on Everbee, utilizing Etsy. But with a Pinterest strategy, man, you can even use Pinterest to do the research. We're doing a lot of Pinterest research in order to build these pins. So really the answer to your question is, where do you want to do research and how long do you want to take doing research to be able to make these listings that can then go out as pins? So it's completely up to you. Good question. Leslie, how do you create and schedule? Since Pinterest only allows you to queue 10 Pinterest posts at a time, I like to batch and schedule for 2 weeks at a time. From my understanding, it allows you to do more than that at a time. But you might only be able to do 10 pins at the very beginning, but then you would just do the next one. So then you would just click create again and then build out more. So it's you're able to do more than 10 pins scheduled out. Like I have let me just see. I'm just interested what my number is right now. 23. I have 23 pins that are currently scheduled right now out into the future. So yes, you might only be able to create and bulk edit 10 right now, but then you'll just restart the process with your next 10. So I don't think there's a cap on how many you can schedule out. There's just a cap of length of time that you can schedule out. Good question. Blah, 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 blah. I have an Oppa Shop. Yay, welcome. I really want to get back to working on it. Is there any specific training you recommend? More recent. I want to be fully up and ready for Q4. Willing to do any challenge. Love to hear it. Sweet. So as it relates to trainings, I have a most recent, let me try to see if I can open it real fast. I have a most recent Oppa Shop training that I did. I also have a video going live next Tuesday, by the way, that's showing all of the new features that we've recently built out. Hopefully this doesn't start screaming at you guys because I'm opening YouTube. 1 second. Don't yell at my friends, please. All right, I'm going to copy these in here in the chat for you. And this is for everybody, of course. That is an Oppa Shop updated tutorial right there. Secondarily, here is a profits video that is also about Oppa Shop and all the different features that you can use to make more money from each sale and make them convert a little bit easier. And then next Tuesday, I have another video going live that is, excuse me, going over 7 different features that have recently been added to Oppa Shop over the last couple of months. So not even a couple months, couple weeks. I think it's been like 30 to 40 days. So feel free to check that out. It's coming out next Tuesday. Also, Rebecca Francis, who is looking to get more information. I actually host the school community and do all the coaching in there. So if you want one-on-one or if you want to do small group coaching for your Oppa Shop, we meet on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. and Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Oh, so good. Someone just said, better, this is like reiterating my little soapbox I was on a second ago. Better to have a shop that grows from quality and reputation versus building a half-baked shop from FOMO. It will pay off later 10 times. 100%. Completely agree. Love it. All right. So I think that's all the questions that we have, and all the challenge members are up for it. So I wanted to go ahead and, before I introduce the challenge itself, I wanted to show you that, like, even if you're like 100 is too much, Leslie, that's crazy talk, I don't want to do that. no worries. I'm just going to give you the math that you can apply to whatever you want to do. So your monthly pin split ideas, and you can change these. If you're not doing lead gen, put 5% somewhere else. If you're not interested in promoting your collections, put 25% somewhere else, right? So you can play around with all these numbers, however it makes sense for your business. But this is my monthly pin split that I'm going to be utilizing to build out the 100 pin challenge. So your product page pins, probably the most important things, other than, of course, we mentioned the collages, and they're going to be the vast majority of what you're doing. So you're pushing out your actual product page links, your AI generated lifestyle mockups for those product pages, whatever, you're getting those out as much as possible. 50% of your monthly pins or more should be attributed to those. Collection pins, again, if you are willing to do and you want to do collections and you have collections or sections that you split your stuff up into, 25%. Website/store/Etsy shop link pins. These are small because you basically can only do one a week, because again, Pinterest only wants to see the particular link, the individual link, done once a week, right? So you don't want to put website Monday through Thursday, because that's doing it 4 times. So that's why it seems so small. Lead gen pins, exact same thing. It's always going to be that one link unless you build more landing pages that you want to link to. So again, once per week. Collage pins, however, 15% or more. Again, if you're able to do more and you're willing to jump into that I showed today, I would highly recommend. But again, 15% being the minimum. So let's say you want to do, I can't do math, y'all know me, but let's say you want to commit to 20 pins over the next month. 100's too much. That's crazy talk, but you want to do 20. 20 times 50%, 20 times 25%, 20 times 5%. You are going to be able to use this math system to build your own of how you know exactly what to move forward with. Okay. So with that said, we are done for today, guys. So let me go ahead and give you the 100 pins challenge for everyone who is interested in joining it with me. Again, this is taking the monthly pin split percentages and simply just applying it to 100. Very, very simple, but that's why I wanted to give you both of them in case you wanted to scale back on, the 100 pins challenge. So product page pins per week. Say that 10 times fast. 12 to 13 per week, 50 give or take total. Again, if you have Shop, Pin B will help significantly here. I'm doing like 5 times 7. I'm doing 35 pins, product page pins a week, simply because of Pin B. So will help you a lot if you have that. Collection pins, 6 to 7 a week, 25 total for the month. Website, storefront, or Etsy shop links, 2 to 3 per week, 5 total for the month. Again, it depends on what you're trying to put out. Lead gen pins, same thing here. I don't know why I accidentally put 1 per week and then 2 to 3 per week. Depends on how many landing pages you have, I guess, is the answer, but just do this once per week. So it should be around 4 total for the month. Collage pins, 3 to 4 per week, around 15 total for the month to get us to the 100 pins challenge. Now, Linda brought up a very, very good point that I do want to make sure I hit on real fast. Not only does Pinterest not enjoy when we are putting one link out there into the universe multiple times a week, but they also do not enjoy when we are self-promotion Sally 24/7. So what I mean by that is they want to see you engaging with others. That is the social aspect of Pinterest. So yes, it is a search engine and it is a sales channel, but it's also a little piece of a social element is in there as well. So they want to see you engaging with others. They want to see you pinning things from others. So something that I personally do, I actually can just show you guys real fast. Yeah, I'll just show you, whatever. There's no gatekeeping here. Let's do it. So you can see this is my actual Pinterest board. So what I'm going to show you real fast is this guy right here, millennial quotes and unhinged era quotes. So you can see there's 12 pins here, 47 pins here, and these are things that are completely unrelated to me. Like, I did not make these myself. I did not curate these pins whatsoever, but they are related to my person. So I do highly, highly, highly recommend that you also build out different pins, or you repin from someone else's Pinterest page, or even what I do is just scroll through the home feed. And if you get your algorithm where it needs to be, AKA completely directed to your audience, hence why, by the way, we started a whole new Pinterest business account, then you can repin like 3 things a day in a matter of literally seconds. That's what I do because it's very easy to see it on my home feed. And then I just go, yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Get it gone. So I'm glad Linda brought that up. She basically asked, should we pin anything that is not product sales? 100%. Anything that can be beneficial for your audience type. So for Linda, for example, dog walking tips, maybe pet sitter house checklist, all those different things that you're not selling and won't be in direct competition with what you're trying to sell, but instead what will help your people who are coming to your page. So as much value as you can give out, just like we've talked about with your emails, right? We talked about having one promo, one content, one promo, one content on a monthly basis, right? So you're going to be doing the exact same thing here. You're going to be promoting a lot, but you're also going to be providing value a lot as well. So hope all that makes sense, guys. I absolutely am having a blast on Pinterest. I'm super stoked to have each and every one of you who is interested joining me on the 100 Pin Challenge. We do start Monday, so I will hold you guys to it on a weekly basis. I'm going to show you my exact impressions, my analytics on a weekly basis. And not only that, but like, what am I doing with those analytics? So not only like, oh, I made 100, impressions. Great. But like, why does that matter? And what should I do with that information for the rest of the journey, for the rest of the challenge? So hopefully you guys are in and we can do that together for the next couple of weeks. I also will be having the 25th. So August 25th. So 2 Tuesdays from today. No, two Tuesdays from now, 2 weeks from Tuesday, we actually are going to have a full Pinterest masterclass. So we had 2 weeks of live streams where I'm walking you guys through each of these elements. But if you're someone like me who really wants to be able to like pause, refresh, fast forward, make me talk even faster than I already do, I don't know why you'd want to do that. But if you want to put me in 2x speed, which is what I do with everybody that I watch, you probably need to put me in like, 0.02 speed. But if you are interested in seeing it in that way, and that's how you like to learn and like to consume that information, stay tuned. That is coming out on August 25th. And that's going to be a full walkthrough of PinB, all the different things we need to click on, all the stuff that I'm currently building in my own Pinterest, and why Pinterest is beneficial for you, how to read the analytics, etc. So if this 2-part series in our boot camp was helpful to you and it's something that you enjoyed, you're really going to want to watch that masterclass that's going live in 2 weeks. With that said, if this obviously is something that helped you, please make sure to let me know by booping that like button so we can get this information out to even more people who want to learn about Pinterest for their own business. And with that said, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. You have a fantastic weekend coming up, and I will see you during week 1 of our 100 Pin Challenge next Thursday. Talk soon. Bye.